What's up, Tan and J-Man Show Nation? This is Tanner Lee, one half of the Tan and J-Man Show. And on behalf of myself and my co-host, Josh the J-Man Munt, we want to thank you for listening to our podcast. While you're at it, on whatever platform you're listening on, please hit that subscribe button. And if it happens to be on Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating and review. That really helps us out. If you're interested in watching our show is recorded live every Monday from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch that on the ISC Sports Network, on the free ISC Sports Network app, on the ISC Sports Network Facebook page, and their Twitter page. While you're at it, on the social media channels, please give us a like on our Facebook page. Please give us a follow on our Twitter and Instagram page at Tan and J-Man Show. And if you want to support our podcast and look great doing so, we have a merchandise store. You can go to any of our social media pages, click the link, click Tan and J-Man Show store, and you'll find whatever you're looking for. Short sleeve t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, coffee mugs, you name it, we got it. So thanks again for supporting the podcast. Now sit back, relax, and here comes another exciting brand new episode of the Tan and J-Man Show.
The J-Man is the defending champ of the NFL Pick'em belt. I also won last week, but we didn't know this by this time last week. But unfortunately, Tanner has won the crown for this week, and I'll give it to him. No, I didn't get to wear it last week. Give me a few minutes.
I'll let you enjoy it for a couple more minutes.
Till we have to pick games or talk NFL. But thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man Show live on the ISC Sports Network. Good to be back at it on this Monday night. A lot has happened over the past week. How you doing tonight there, Tanner, man?
Doing pretty good, J-Man. I mean, my Boilers broke my heart Saturday, even though I wasn't really expecting to win. But, yeah.
It's not fun losing.
No, it's not fun losing. Yeah. I just noticed, J-Man, I left my my notes upstairs. I'm going to go grab those real quick.
All right.
So keep everybody rolling real quick.
You know what? I'm going to do On This Day real quick, if you don't mind, or you want me to wait?
No, you don't have to wait for me.
All right.
Let me pull up this is embarrassing, but I literally can't get through the show without my without my notes. So let me pull up the On This Day for you real quick, and I will be right back.
On this day in 1911, the New York Yankees set team record 12 errors in a doubleheader. If you are a math genius like myself, that is 6 a game. Not great, Bob. On this day in 1913, U.S. Open men's golf was played. 20-year-old amateur Francis Ouimet wins his only Open title in an 18-hole playoff. On this day in 1919, legendary baseball slugger Babe Ruth tied Ned Williamson's MLB mark of 27 home runs with a ninth-inning blast in Boston Red Sox 4-3 win against the Chicago White Sox. 27 home runs was the Major League record in 1919 until Babe Ruth broke it. So I'm only in 1919. You weren't up there that long.
I'm pretty much fast guy alive.
Make fast people look not so fast.
I try.
On this day in 1924, who won the PGA Championship?
1924, how about Sam Snead?
Walter Hagen beats Englishman Jimmy Barnes. Jimmy. On this day in 1931, Major League Baseball's Lou Gehrig's 4 RBIs broke his old RBI mark of 175. He ended up with 184 RBIs in the 1931 season.
He was pretty good.
Hack Wilson, Chicago Cub, had 191 a few years later, and that is still the all-time record and one that I think is pretty safely never going to be broken.
Yeah, I agree with you.
On this day in 1932, the Chicago Cubs clinched the NL pennant. They used to do that back then. That year was the year that old Baby Ruth called a shot.
Baby Ruth.
Mm-hmm. The Pittsburgh Steelers, known as the Pirates, on this day in 1933, played in their first NFL game.
They were known as the Pirates before
I did
Steelers?
not know that either.
That's interesting.
They lost 23-2. It's a weird...
not good.
Yeah.
Not a good debut.
On this day in 1951, MLB owners elect National League president Ford Frick as third baseball commissioner for a 7-year term at a then massive $65,000 a year.
Isn't that wild to think about?
Things have changed. This is a good one for Cubs fans. On this day in 1953, Cubs' Ernie Banks hit his first career Major League home run.
Mr. Cub.
It was not too bad. On this day in 1961, Roger Maris hit his 59th home run of the season.
It's a pretty good one.
Yep. barely missed a 60 in game 154 of the season. On this day in 1968, Mickey Mantle hit his final career home run, On this day in 1969, the Ryder Cup golf was played. Who won that one?
69. Let's go with the Europeans.
Great Britain tie. The U.S. and Great Britain tie at 16 all. Great sporting gesture. America's Jack Nicklaus concedes missable 3-foot putt to Joni Jacklin at the 18th hole for a draw. That's good sportsmanship. Wouldn't see that nowadays.
Yeah, it depends who the golfer is. Most, no.
That's fair. I want to go straight for the jugular. On this day in 1975, who won the Ryder Cup?
Go with the Americans.
U.S. beats Great Britain in Ireland. Arnold Palmer.
USA.
Non-playing American captain. Bernard Hunt was Great Britain and Ireland's
Never heard of him.
skipper.
It is Ryder Cup week this week, so didn't have it last year. We're supposed to have it last year, but they are having it this year. Same place, Whistling Straits up in Wisconsin. So it should be fun. It's always a fun event to watch with fans.
1984, the Cubs broke 2 million in home attendance for the first time.
A lot of Cubs tonight on this day.
Don't have them too often on there. 1985, Curtis Strong is convicted for selling cocaine to pro baseball players.
That's awful.
Yeah, not a great one to have. And there's a lot of good ones today. Chicago running back Walter Payton scored his NFL record 107th career rushing touchdown in the Bears' 20-3 victory over Tampa Bay.
Sweetness.
Yes, sir. 1995, the Cincinnati Reds became the first team to clinch the National League Central. They only had the East and West up until 1994.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have they clinched it since? Serious question.
Yes.
Have they?
I think 2010 and 2012.
I feel like they were a wild card both times.
They weren't a wild card in 2012. I know that one.
Okay.
They might have been in 2010. I don't remember. And then they were definitely a wild card in 2014 and wild card last year.
That's impressive. You can remember every time they made the playoffs lately.
Few and far between.
But that's still impressive. They can remember that. Probably because their fans remind you the exact years.
Because they're the worst. Alex Rodriguez in 2013 set new Major League Baseball record with 24 grand slams.
Yep, he was pretty good with the bases loaded.
Who won the U.S. Open this day last year?
U.S. Open, we're talking tennis?
Men's golf, sorry.
Oh, men's golf. Yeah, U.S. Open. Who won the U.S. Open last year? Men's golf. Bryson DeChambeau.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Over who?
Oh, God, he blew the field away.
He won by 6 strokes.
Was it John Rahm?
Matthew Wolff.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's probably going to do it, but I want you to try to pronounce this, the winner of the 2020 Tour de France from last year.
Slovenian. I can't. My eyes are awful. I cannot see. Tadej Pogacar. That's way off.
Yeah, you bungled that one.
And he beat
Primoz Roglic.
Yeah, there you go. You're more confident with your pronunciation.
That's all you have to be. You got to be confident. Tadej Pogacar. Not too bad. Not too bad for you.
That was awful.
That's going to do it for On This Day, though, this week.
And the On This Day segment is brought to you by, like it is every week, Performer Print House. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Performer Print House has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today by giving them a call at 574-210-3815.
Let's talk a little baseball here for a few minutes, shall we?
Let's do some Birdie Bogey, shall we, real quick?
I forgot. You running upstairs threw me.
I think this is about the first episode ever. This is our 253rd episode. This might be the first one we've never let off with Birdie Bogey.
Yeah?
Maybe the first few we ever did.
I'm glad you said something because I would have definitely forgotten.
But Birdie Bogey, so you got a commanding lead right now.
3 strokes.
You're 2 over par for the year. I'm 5 over. So I need you to get a bogey, right? Mm-hmm. It's Ryder Cup week, right?
Oh, man.
I want to know what – the Ryder Cup goes back to like 1939. I want to know what individual has the most points all time in the Ryder Cup.
I'm going to go ahead and give myself a stroke right now.
Knowing my luck.
I don't even know what that means, individual points.
There's points in different rounds. So literally, what individual all-time in the Ryder Cup has the most points? So it's somebody who's been really good at the Ryder Cup for a long time.
Feels like this is a trick question, though, because I want to go with like a top name that I've heard of. But for some reason, I'm thinking it's going to be somebody else. Or are you trying to throw me off to make me think that the mind games have begun? But Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Noble Gnome LLC for fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine of Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, and check out their website, noblegnomellc.com. Get your veggies.
Now you can get into your baseball talk.
Baseball. Haven't spoken on baseball in a few weeks.
I haven't watched baseball in like a month.
I'm still watching.
You're a diehard.
I am a diehard.
I'd give you props.
Cubs are 17 games under 500. They
Any new youngsters catch your eye lately?
have officially been eliminated.
Have they called anybody new up lately, or is it?
There's a few guys. Alfonso Rivas, who they picked up in a trade for Tony Kemp last year, or they traded Tony Kemp away to the Oakland A's. He's come up and he's played pretty well. Frank Schwindel, who they picked up off of waivers, has been the best hitter in the National League since August 1st.
Buy your Swindell jerseys.
Yes, Frank the Tank is what everyone's calling him.
Is he older?
He's our age.
So,
but, I mean, who knows? He might be a legit breakout. He doesn't strike out much, has good power, so maybe he's just finally getting his shot, and he's turning it into something.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
It remains to be seen. I mean, we've seen some guys come up and develop later in their careers, but who knows on Frank Schwindel? I'm not holding my breath on it. But it's been fun to watch him go on a tear here. But, Cubs are eliminated. Are they eliminated? They're eliminated from the division. I think they're definitely eliminated from playoff contention. Felt like they were eliminated a long time ago, but they are officially eliminated. But the division races are kind of heating up. The San Francisco Giants only have a 1-game lead on the LA Dodgers.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty safe a while back.
Yep. Man, Giants are 44 games over 500. They just have to play one of the greatest teams.
Surprise of the year.
Definitely the surprise of the year. They just have to contend with one of the best teams ever, one of the greatest stretches of regular season baseball ever in the LA Dodgers the past couple years.
They're going to be the team to beat, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Although, man, I'm telling you, watch out for Milwaukee.
Yeah.
That 3-headed pitching staff they have there of Woodruff, Burns, and
speaking of Milwaukee, I saw Ryan Braun finally retired officially.
Finally retired. You know, when guys retire, you kind of wish them well and all that, but not me. I hated Ryan Braun. I hope he has the worst retirement ever, to be honest. That dude was the worst. One of the most disappointing teams in recent memory when it comes to baseball is the San Diego Padres. They were a legitimate World Series contender.
Spent a lot of money.
Spent a ton of money, traded for Yu Darvish and Blake Snell. Both guys haven't been that good. They have these superstars in Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado. They're getting in a fight in the dugout over the weekend. Things are just kind of coming to a head. I think heads are going to roll there in San Diego. They are now 20.5 games out of the division, which they've been eliminated. And they find themselves 3.5 games out behind 3 other teams. Yep. For the wild card spot. I think they're done. They have the Giants and Dodgers, I think, coming up as well. So they're absolutely done. One of the more disappointing teams I can remember because they were winning the wild card by, I think, 5.5 games entering August, and they have gone 10-27 since. They have just been absolutely abysmal. Atlanta still holding on to a 2-game lead in the NL East over the Philadelphia Phillies. Mets find themselves 5.5 out.
Hate to see it.
Yeah. Tampa Bay's up 6.5 games in the East. Yeah. The White Sox up 11 in the Central. Houston's up 6 in the West. It's going to be a White Sox-Houston battle in the divisional round.
That's disgusting.
White Sox they're 3 games behind Houston. They need home field advantage because they have a losing record on the road this year, and they haven't played good teams very well either, which it's definitely an issue when it comes to the postseason. But that's that. The wild card races are hot right now. The St. Louis Cardinals are on absolute fire, 10 games over 500. They're 3 games up on the Cincinnati Reds. Reds have sort of choked a little bit.
It's like your worst nightmare right there.
It is, but I'd rather the Cardinals be in besides the Reds. Reds had every opportunity to run away with the wild card, and they've refused to do it.
They had such an easy schedule.
Such an easy schedule, and that's the issue. They have lost, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 straight series The Reds have lost.
That's not good when you're trying to make playoffs.
And that includes 2 series to the Cubs, bad Cubs team, a series to the Marlins, a series to the Tigers, and a series to the Pirates. They've lost all of those.
You don't deserve to get in playoffs so playing like that.
Now, they have a very easy schedule the rest of the way. They have the Pirates for 3, then the Nationals for 4 at home. Then they're on the road in Chicago White Sox, which the White Sox will have everything clinched by then. Their magic number's 4. And then they go to Pittsburgh, so they could still find themselves in the wild card spot and facing either the Giants or Dodgers. But you look at who the Cardinals have. They have at Milwaukee this week, which will not be tough. Then they have 4 in Wrigley Field, which they haven't played well there. Then they have Brewers again at home, but the Brewers again should have everything locked up as far as the division goes. And they have the Cubs at home. So getting the Cubs for 7 helps immensely, and maybe a Brewers team that's not playing for anything helps.
So Reds fans need to root for the Cubs.
Yeah, absolutely. Need to root for the Cubs. Got to do what you got to do. I used to root for the Cardinals and the Reds, both, depending on who they were playing, when the Cubs were fighting for a playoff spot. But that's the National League. The Phillies are only 3.5 out, and Padres are still 3.5 out, but it's the uphill climb for them. The American League wild card is hot right now. You have the Boston Red Sox in that first spot up a game on the Toronto Blue Jays. And you have the Blue Jays up a game and a half on the Yankees for that final spot. Only 2 up on Oakland, only 4 up on Seattle. Toronto has gone scorched earth the past month to get back into it, and they're looking pretty dang good right now. I'm going to look at their schedule the rest of the way. They have an 84.7% chance to make the postseason. They do have at Tampa Bay, at Minnesota. We have a big old spider on the that's a huge spider.
I'll kill it.
All right. That's a first. That is a first that has ever happened on the Tan and J Man show. That was a big spider, too.
It was.
Toronto has at Tampa Bay, at Minnesota. Then they have the Yankees for 3. That could be the biggest series of the year. But they have the worst team in baseball, the Baltimore Orioles, to finish up the season, which helps out immensely. Then you have the Yankees have a fairly easy schedule the rest of the way. They have Texas for 3. They do have at Boston, at Toronto, and then Tampa Bay, so they don't have an easy schedule. I was wrong. So I think Yankees might find themselves out of the playoffs again, and I think that would be the end to Aaron Boone.
That would be one of my bold predictions.
That Aaron Boone would be gone?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's going to do it for baseball this week. Talked a little more than I thought I was going to.
Right, no, you're on a roll. Let you go. We hadn't talked baseball for a couple weeks.
We have not.
I'll let you go.
So.
Got a bunch of football talk. What are we talking first, college or pro?
Let's go college football first. Another big week in the Big Ten. We had, who played? Penn State beat Auburn. That was a big win for them.
It's the first whiteout they've won. They have lost 5 straight whiteout games.
Really?
Yep.
Man.
Do you know the whiteout started I heard this over the weekend on game day. It started, the first whiteout game was, for the first 2 or 3 was just student section only. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know this, and I remember watching this game. The first whiteout ever was against Purdue in 2004.
Really?
And Purdue beat them. That's their only win at Happy Valley. And then they had one against Ohio State the next year, and they said the press box shook. It was so loud.
It would get rocking.
And then they finally, I think it was against Michigan a few years later, did the whole crowd. Now they do it once a year, even though James Franklin's hasn't ruled out doing it twice this year.
Who else would they do it against?
Michigan.
Oh, they play Michigan.
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's late October maybe.
Okay.
But
it's a fun environment to watch.
It's raucous. But they got it done over Auburn. Mm-hmm. So Bo Nix is now 5-8 on the road / neutral site games as a starting quarterback. I think Penn State's for real.
Yeah, I think they're pretty dang good. They
jumped up to 6th in the rankings.
Would I pick them to win the West? It's so tough right now. I mean,
the East, you mean?
East. Ohio State losing to Oregon, and then they only beat Tulsa by 21. They didn't cover. I would say right now, probably Penn State's the favorite to win the West. I mean, we don't know what kind of
East.
I'm struggling today. Win the East, although Michigan State's playing awfully well, they just went into Miami.
Michigan's not too shabby this year.
And Michigan's pretty good as well.
Rutgers is undefeated right now.
Yeah, Rutgers is Rutgers, though.
I mean, right now, the one team in the West, right now, we're only 3 weeks in, you could say it's out of it's Indiana.
Yeah, and that's shocking because we thought they'd be in it. At least I did. They've played 2 top 10 teams, though. Have to give them that, but I mean, they got
that
blown
division
out in the East. They got blown out in Iowa, and then had every opportunity to beat Cincinnati.
They
it
had
felt
14, kept getting inside the 5-yard line and couldn't score.
Michael Penix is not a very good quarterback, at least throwing wise.
This year.
He had 23 incompletions on Saturday. His injury clearly is still affecting him.
I don't think his knees allowing him to get outside the pocket, so he has to stay in the pocket and try to become a complete pocket passer, and it's just not working.
Not.
It's just not working. And they're missing, Wap Fillier, I believe is how you pronounce his name, and then they lost another wideout. And Freifeld goes back, but and Hendershot, their tight end, but they just don't seem to have the weapons this year that they did.
I agree.
Years past.
I agree. Northwestern's bad.
They're bad. They're real bad.
They're a legitimately bad team.
I had them 8-4, and I'm embarrassed.
I think I had them pretty good as well.
I knew they lost a lot, but Hunter Johnson,
he is the worst quarterback in the Big Ten.
We talk about it every week.
He went 6 for 16, 75 yards, and 3 interceptions against Duke, who lost to Charlotte 2 weeks ago.
I forgot about that.
They're not a good team. Hunter Johnson is so bad. One of the worst quarterbacks in Big Ten history. I'll book it.
Yeah, they're bad. Michigan State, for real, they're ranked 20th now. They went down to your Hurricanes and put a whooping on them.
Yeah, my Canes are 1-2. It's a sad day.
Like I said, Michigan killed Northern Illinois.
Minnesota going into Colorado and
shut
whooping
them out.
Yeah, 30.
I didn't see that. I thought Colorado was going to beat them. Colorado was 2-point favorites. Purdue loses up at Notre Dame by 14, 27-13 offense. Defense, I thought, played well enough to win. They gave up 3 big plays, but I thought they played with an edge, but offense just didn't come through. Offensive line struggled. Jack Plummer's running for his life. And then Jeff Brom replaced him with Aiden O'Connell. I think it was just to try to get a spark going. Aiden definitely zips the ball quicker, gets rid of it, but he can't move. But he ended up throwing 2 interceptions. Notre Dame was the better team. But the thing that just bugs me, Josh, is Notre Dame was asking to get beat. That was the thing. They were just letting Purdue hang around, asking, and Purdue just couldn't take advantage. I think I do think Notre Dame's a better team than Purdue, obviously, but I don't think this is close to the Notre Dame teams of the last few years.
I don't think Notre Dame's all that good at all.
No.
Their quarterback play is bad, quite frankly. Jack Cohn, 50% completion percentage on Saturday. I watched a few minutes of it, and he missed a wide-open guy in the end zone. He had a guy wide open streaking down the middle, and he missed him by 10 feet.
Yeah, he did miss some throws.
I think there was either a 3rd and 7 or I think it was a 3rd down. He had a guy on a crossing route in the second quarter. The guy was wide open. He missed him way wide.
He definitely missed some throws.
It was really, and I said this in our group chat, that he was the difference with why it wasn't a 28-3 game at halftime. He's just not good, but Purdue hung in there like you said they did.
Yeah, I feel like they had the momentum until halfway through second quarter. They went for 4th and 1 from midfield. They did a jet sweep to Milton Wright for some reason instead of one of their other wide receivers. And he could have had it, but he did a little stutter step instead of putting his foot on the gas. Didn't get it. And then it felt like it was just Notre Dame momentum from then on. Notre Dame did miss a field goal one time to try to help them out. But, Purdue scores a touchdown, starts second half, then they kick it out of bounds. And the punting was awful, which – their special teams always is terrible up in Notre Dame for some reason. Going back to the Drew Brees days, and which I thought Drew Brees did a good job on commentary. I think he's going to be pretty good. That had to be hard for him to commentate that game, which he is going to be back in Rochester this week. They got an off week since Fox is carrying the Wisconsin game, so he and some members of the 2000 Rose Bowl team are going to be back for the Illinois game. But Purdue's a little banged up. Xander Horvath out 4 to 8 weeks with a broken leg. That killed them up in Notre Dame. They had no running game. Number 1 corner, Corey Trice, was ruled out right before Notre Dame game. They said that's going to be 2 to 4 weeks today. David Bell's in concussion protocol. Another one of the wide receivers today, they said hurt his foot. He's out for a while. So all of a sudden, even the wide receiver room, you might be without 2 of their wide receivers this week. So depth is becoming an issue. But Jack Plummer is starting Saturday, but I don't think Jeff Brom's scared to pull the trigger if he feels needed. So, Illinois, talking about them, they lost to Maryland Friday night, and you said I didn't even watch the game. You
watched
said they collapsed.
The final quarter, really, and Illinois was up 7 with the ball with about 5 minutes left on Maryland's 40. And they had a 4th and 1, and instead of, if they get that, Maryland had, I think, all 3 timeouts or at least 2. The likelihood they win increases immensely.
Sure.
If they go for it, but they decide to punt it. Maryland scores within like 3 minutes. Illinois gets the ball back, and they find themselves on a 4th and 37 where On 3rd and 20, Brandon Peters threw it to an offensive lineman, so it was illegal touching of a forward pass, which pushed him back even farther. And Blake Hayes is punting out of his own end zone, and Maryland gets the ball at the Illinois 40-something to start. A few plays later, field goal range, kick a field goal. For those Illinois fans, it was depressing. I had to chuckle. It's fun. I'm so glad I gave up on that kind of bull crap where it would affect my day. And now it's just fun to see the chaos that is the Illinois fan base and the torture that they go through.
Any other notes around the college football world real quick before I go over my Big Ten power rankings?
I have nothing. Let's hear your
Alabama
power
almost got beat.
They did. They probably should have.
Florida gave them everything they wanted. So, but my power rankings, we'll start at the bottom, work our way up. No change from the bottom last week. Illinois, still my bottom seller this week. I almost moved them up to 13th, but I'm keeping them there with Northwestern's 13th. Number 12, I got Nebraska still. They gave Oklahoma a scare.
They lost by 7.
It was a lot more competitive game than I thought it would be. Nebraska's special teams really hurt them. I mean, anytime you score and have an extra point blocked in return for 2 points, that hurts.
Yeah.
I got Indiana as 11. Like you said, they've lost to 2 top 10 teams. It's probably not really fair for me to put them there, but I'm just kind of going by record. They got a chance to bounce back at Western Kentucky this weekend. Got Minnesota at 10. They shut out Colorado. I think they're starting to find their mojo, so they're going to work their way up the power rankings. But a lot of these teams have pretty good records in my top 6. I dropped Purdue down to 9. I had them 6 last week, but you lose. Now you're 2-1. Must win this week against Illinois. I got Wisconsin at 8. They're ranked top 20, but just record-wise, I'm going records for most of these power rankings, so I got them at 8. Number 7, I got Rutgers. They're 3-0. Yeah. Defense is good. Now they got to test out Michigan this weekend. We'll see who wins that one. Number 6, I got Maryland, another team that's undefeated and looks to be improved.
Tagovailoa looks legit,
Yeah,
too.
He does, and he's got some good wide receivers around him. Number 5, I got Ohio State. So I dropped them from 4 to 5 this week. Didn't look great against Tulsa. They do play Akron this week. They're 49-point favorites.
Yeah, a bunch.
Number 4, I got Michigan. Undefeated, looking good.
Yeah, they do look good.
We'll see what they can do.
They're actually scoring points, too.
Yeah, they got a good offense. Rutgers got a pretty good defense. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Number 3, I got Michigan State. I've moved them way up to number 3. I can't stop denying them anymore. They played Nebraska this weekend. I don't think they're a pretender. I think they're a contender. Mm-hmm. I got to give Mel Ticker credit. I thought this was going to take a long time for him to turn around. I had them win like 2 or 3 games this year.
Yeah.
They've already won 3. Number 2, I got Penn State. Number 6 in the nation, won the whiteout game against Auburn. I think they're looking really good. Number 1, I got the number 5 team in the country, Iowa. Iowa Hawkeyes.
That's a pretty solid list there, Tanner.
Yeah.
I want to go through and pick some games.
I got the confident points ready for Big Ten.
Starting with Villanova at Penn State.
11. It's my biggest confident point.
I have Penn State for 10. So.
Oh, you got 10. You got one that you're more confident in, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't even think there's a line on this game last time I checked.
I'm going to check right now.
Maybe it came out today. No. Yeah, this is going to be a bloodbath.
Notre Dame at Wisconsin.
This is college game day. It's at Soldier Field.
Wisconsin's 5.5-point favorites. When's the last time Notre Dame? Well, probably against Clemson. Notre Dame hasn't been favored. But.
Yeah, Notre Dame's won 26 straight home games now. Brian Kelly's tied for the all-time school record in wins. But I got Wisconsin by a touchdown, but it's 1 confident point.
I have Wisconsin for 6. I'm
pretty confident.
I do not believe in this Notre Dame team after watching them the first 3 weeks.
It is interesting. Jack Cohn knows this defense real well. His defense knows Jack Cohn real well.
Yep. There's a reason why Wisconsin was okay with Jack Cohn leaving. Bowling Green at Minnesota.
Yeah, like I said, PJ Fleck's boys, the boat rowers, went and got it done at Boulder in convincing fashion last week. Bowling Green's terrible. Give me the Gophers for 7.
I have Minnesota for 4. I think they win pretty handily. The Ohio Bobcats travel to Evanston to play Northwestern.
Yeah, Ohio's terrible. They're 0-3, I believe.
Northwestern's terrible.
But Northwestern's terrible. But even with that said, I think Northwestern gets it done. Give me them for 6.
I have Northwestern for 3. I think they get it done. Illinois at Purdue.
Yeah, I'm not too confident on this game. Like I said, I don't know David Bell's status. If I had to place a bet, I don't think he plays Saturday. Marshawn Rice, who was probably going to get more playing time because he's David Bell's backup, he's out now. No Xander Horvath. I have Purdue winning, but I only have 3 confident points on it.
I have Illinois winning.
I knew this was coming. Knew it.
I have 2 confidence points on it.
Heated up the whole time. I could just tell.
I think Purdue probably knocks the doors off them. But
I don't say knocks the doors off.
That was the only game I could see actually being a coin. It's not even a coin flip, but I could see the other team winning. I can't see any other team winning this week. Rutgers at Michigan.
I got Michigan. This is only my number 2 pointer. I just got a feeling one of these weeks Michigan's going to get challenged real hard, and I think I like what Shiano's doing.
Yep.
I think Tennessee fans got to be mad, but they did it to themselves.
Yeah, they deserve it. They absolutely deserve to be miserable. That's just a miserable fan base.
It really is.
Michigan for 7. I almost said Rutgers at Michigan again. Michigan for 7. Kent State at Maryland.
Yeah, Kent State's not very good. Maryland's undefeated right now. They're at home. Give me Maryland for 8.
I have Maryland for 8 as well. I just think they're going to score a lot of points against Kent State. Colorado State at Iowa.
I keep saying these teams are real bad. Colorado State's really bad. They're 1-2 this year. Iowa's number 5 in the nation. Iowa's not going to let them score more than 10 points. Give me Iowa for 9.
I have Iowa for 9 as well. It's it's going to be a bloodbath. Nebraska at Michigan State.
Yeah, I've been really complimentary of Michigan State tonight. I'm not big on Nebraska and Scott Frost. Give me the Spartans for 4.
I have Michigan State for 1. I could see Nebraska giving them a game, like they gave Oklahoma a game. If they play like they did against Oklahoma, maybe they win.
Well, Michigan State's not going to sneak up on anybody anymore. They're
Not
ranked
anymore.
number 20.
Yep.
So you got kind of a target on your back now.
Yeah, that could hurt them as well. Akron at Ohio State.
Got Ohio State for 10.
I have Ohio State for 11. That was my 11 pointer.
It's 49-point spread.
Yep.
That tells you all you need to know about the
I
game.
think they'll win as big as Penn State does against Villanova.
Yeah.
Indiana at Western Kentucky. Kind of an interesting matchup.
Interesting game because it could, I don't know Western Kentucky's attendance anymore. They're not very good. They're 1-2. They used to be good at one time, but
probably a ton of Indiana fans.
Yeah, that's true. It's a short drive down there to Bowling Green, Kentucky, Corvette capital of the world.
Yep.
But I think Western Kentucky hangs in there for a little bit, but then loses by like 13. I got Indiana for 5.
I have Indiana for 5 as well. I'm right on the same page there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Going through the ranked games here, we have the miserable UNLV running Rebels traveling to newly ranked Fresno State after their win in the Rose Bowl.
I called that.
You did. That was
last week. I called that on 2 of my podcasts.
Fresno State is 30.5-point favorites.
Yeah, give me Fresno State. UNLV's awful.
Yeah, they're terrible. Georgia, number 2 in the country, arguably just as good as Alabama.
They're really good, man.
Travels to Vanderbilt.
You see, you saw Shane Bieber, what he said about their defense. South Carolina head coach pretty much said, well, they're loaded with 5 stars. They have
105 stars. That's why.
They have a defense lineman that's 340 pounds and runs as good as anybody on this phone call. Just a bunch of things. I'm like, wow, this is brutally honest. But, Georgia's got to whoop Vanderbilt. This is going to be ugly.
I agree. Texas A&M travels to – no, they do not. It is a neutral site game against Arkansas.
Where's that at?
Is
that Jerry's World? It's because Jerry Jones is an Arkansas guy.
Yep.
Give me Sam Pittman and the Hogs. Give me Arkansas.
Give me A&M.
A&M's backup quarterback. This will be his second start.
A&M's 5.5-point favorites. Arkansas could knock off all the Texas teams. Arkansas hasn't been good at football in a long time now.
That'd be good for the SEC to get them going again.
Clemson, who cannot score points.
What was up with that the other day?
They somehow beat Georgia Tech, but it's just like pulling teeth watching them trying to score. Travels to NC State. They are somehow 10-point favorites.
I think Clemson bounced back with a more polished performance, but this isn't a Clemson team the last few years, though.
They don't have Deshaun Watson or Trevor Lawrence walking through that door.
It's true.
So,
their quarterback's not too bad
right now. He tore up Notre Dame last year, but they just can't score.
Yeah.
Give me Clemson. I think they probably cover, but they haven't inspired too much. Iowa State travels to Baylor.
I don't know much about Baylor.
They're 3-0.
Oh, okay. Matt Rule, it seemed like when he left.
They played Kansas, though, one of the games. So
give me Iowa State, but
Iowa State
wouldn't be surprised if it's close.
7.5-point favorites.
Sounds about right.
Brock Purdy has to play better than he did against Iowa anyway. Give me Iowa State. UCLA travels to 2-1 Stanford.
So UCLA's still ranked.
24th.
Kind of surprises me. Mm-hmm. Stanford had the big win against USC 2 weeks ago.
UCLA's 5.5-point faves.
I think Chip Kelly's boys bounce back this week.
Give me Stanford, just to switch it up a little bit. Stanford's looked pretty good the past 2 weeks after losing to Kansas State to start the season. Tennessee is 20-point underdogs traveling to Gainesville.
Well, Florida, gave Alabama everything they wanted. I don't remember the last time Alabama's been tested like that this early in the season. Tennessee played like I don't even know who they played. It was some school that they've shut out 3 straight times they played them. The Citadel maybe or something. I don't know.
I didn't play those teams.
But, yeah, give me Florida easily.
Yeah, Florida, I think they cover. I mean, Florida showed something, just giving Alabama all they wanted. I think they're good. Interesting matchup here. Kansas State, number 25, travels 2-3-0 Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's 6-point favorites, though.
Fun Big 12 matchup. Give me the Cowboys, Oklahoma State.
I agree. Give me Oklahoma State.
Mike Gundy's a man. He's like 51 now or something. I don't know how he is.
Oh, he's probably 55.
Yeah, he made that statement, in 07, so he probably is about 55.
The worst Power 5 conference team, Arizona Wildcats. They lost to...
They're horrid.
They lost to Northern Arizona.
Yep, Jack Plummer's little brother, that was his first career start as a true freshman. Didn't go so hot for him.
Well, he's going to have to play in Autzen Stadium in Oregon.
Not going to go hot for him.
It's not going to go very well there either.
Yeah, give me Oregon by like $1 billion.
Oregon big. One more here. West Virginia at Oklahoma. Oklahoma 16.5-point favorites.
West Virginia got a big win over Pittsburgh, I believe it was, but I think Oklahoma bounces back after a not-so-impressive performance against the Cornhuskers.
I agree. I think they got a little bit of a scare, but I think, ultimately Oklahoma wins. You want to transition right into the NFL? Or you got anything
You got
else?
word association?
I do, and it's actually college football. Man, I'm
keeping you on your toes. I'm keeping you on the straight line.
It's a Monday. So for this word association, it is former Big Ten football coaches. Most of them were pretty bad. Some were pretty good. And I have one basketball coach because Iowa's had 2 head coaches in like 40 years. So
that's true.
I chose a basketball coach for Iowa just to switch it up. Starting number 1, we have Randy Edsall, Maryland.
Randy Edsall. Oh, man. What's a good word for him? Terrible.
Bozo.
I mean, he did get him the BCS Bowl, UConn. With UConn, he got him the BCS Bowl at 8-5 back in 2010, but he did not do good at Maryland. Didn't do good at UConn the second time. Did you see UConn today? AD informed all the coaches they will not be back next year. Why would you even coach the rest of the year? The whole staff.
At UConn? Yeah, collect a paycheck, but that doesn't help the kids out at all. Just they have to drop down a level, don't they? They have to.
I think they have to. And maybe they can get back on track and then bounce back.
I'm going to give this to you because I've worn it for more than half the show, and you won this week. So
I'll wait to put it on until we get the NFL.
All right. It was kind of annoying me on my shoulder. John L. Smith, Michigan State.
Wasn't he the one that went crazy at halftime? Our kids are playing their tails off, and the coaches are screwing them up, or something like he said something like that when he's at Arkansas.
I remember. I forgot he was at Arkansas. He was like the interim after Petrino, wasn't he? When he was at Michigan State, he accused Ron Zook publicly of cheating. He's like, somehow they're getting all these 5 stars at Illinois. I don't know how that's happening. Something like that.
I think he said the kids are playing their tails off, and the coaches are screwing it up. I think that's exactly what he said. Yeah.
He was kind of a character.
Yes, he was.
Mark Tressel.
A lot of these guys. Mark Tressel.
Is it Mark? It's not Mark.
Jim
Tressel.
I was like, it was Mark Tressel.
I don't know why I wrote down Mark.
Sweaty V.
Yep.
Sweater vest. He was a heck of a coach.
I even saw this and that doesn't look right. But I think,
man, I don't remember Mark Tressel.
Bill O'Brien.
Chin. Big old chin. And then Hard Knocks, man. He threw F-bombs around when he was coaching Texans. I think we'll see him be a college head coach again soon somewhere.
Yeah, he's Alabama's offensive coordinator, I believe, isn't he?
Is he?
I think so.
No, he's under staff. I didn't know he's their OC. Man, Saban always grabs big-name guys to be on his staff.
Yeah, they've had Kiffin, they've had Sarkisian. He's offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at the University of Alabama.
Yeah, he'll be a head coach somewhere soon.
Yeah. Bill Lynch.
Seemed like a nice guy. I think he was...
was he the one that threw his gum at the officials?
Yes, he was.
When they lost to Michigan?
He worked at Butler for a little bit, just as an associate AD or something. Then he was coach at DePaul University down in Greencastle. Then he's retired since then. Just seemed like a nice guy, but wasn't a very good football. No. He wasn't good enough to be a coach at IU at that level.
Yeah, that's fair. Grady Hoke.
Overachieved year one.
Yeah.
Got him to BCS Bowl and did nothing. Big boy.
Yeah, where'd they
Ball
get him
State
from?
Guy.
Yeah, didn't they get him from San Diego State?
He went there, didn't he, after
Michigan? Did he go there
afterwards?
afterwards?
Yeah.
Chris Ash, Rutgers.
was not good.
Awful.
I think he won like 3 games.
Ohio State assistant.
Yeah, I forgot where he even came from. Some of these names, I forgot about these guys.
Here's Iowa basketball. Todd Licklider.
Former Butler coach.
Yeah, I think he's a head high school coach in Indiana, isn't
and wasn't he coach at Marion University for a little bit?
It seems like he was at one point.
Yeah, he just fell off the map after Iowa. I mean, it wasn't very good.
So bad.
It was between Alford and McCaffrey.
That son of a gun is the new head coach at Evansville.
Oh, good for him. Back in Division I.
Yeah, man. He was Butler, Iowa, then he was Miami, Ohio State, and then he was head coach at Marion, and then he'd been an assistant at Evansville the past couple of years, and he is now the head man at Evansville.
Licklider.
Back in the Missouri Valley. Oh, Ron Zook.
Zookster. Special teams coordinator wherever he goes.
He's at Maryland.
Yeah,
he came back. It was a revenge game for him. And
is he at Maryland now? I know he's the Packers special team coordinator forever, it seemed like.
Loxley. I mean, Loxley was his OC at Illinois.
It's hard to believe he was the guy who took over for Spurrier at Florida, isn't it?
Yeah, he was a buffoon. Jerry Kill.
Good coach.
Good coach.
Just had a bunch of medical problems. He even tried to be the OC for Rutgers for a little bit, and that didn't work. I felt bad for him.
Yeah, he turned Minnesota into a pretty good program.
And then that guy they got after him did real well, and they canned him after like 9 wins.
The guy who ate ice cream cones on the sideline.
I forget his name.
Man after my own heart. Bill Callahan.
I remember as a Raider coach.
Yeah, more than Nebraska.
Coached the Raiders in the Super Bowl blowout, lost to Gruden and the Buccaneers. But, yeah, that's how I remember. I don't remember him at Nebraska.
Randy Walker. I don't even remember Randy Walker.
Passed away. Yeah. Was also a Colorado coach, but got Northwestern Rose Bowl. Well, I mean, he's a legend there.
Then Pat's been there since 05. Gary Anderson, Wisconsin.
Wow. Yeah, he was there for like 2 years. Then he went to Oregon State. Don't know what he was thinking there. That was a dumb career move, Gary.
I don't think he could handle the pressure of being at a Big Ten school.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Danny Hope.
Danny's my guy, man. He's my guy.
He's your big Danny Hope guy.
He is hang 10 right now, Danny. Go look up Danny Hope. He's got hair down to his shoulders. Honestly, great guy. His staff was great. They weren't paid very well. They're all kind of in over their heads a little bit, but I thought he deserved one more year. And if Purdue knew what they were going to get out of Darrell Hazel, they probably would have gave him one more year.
Yeah.
Players loved him. He loved the players. Decent recruiter, but just he would always win a game he shouldn't, but he would lose a game he should win every year. It was like Rice or Northern Illinois or Toledo or somebody like that. And then 2012, when they should have been good because Ohio State was on probation, Penn State was on probation, so it was like Wisconsin and Purdue for the legends or leaders. I don't even remember which one they were in. That was so stupid. They just couldn't. They were getting killed by like every opponent. Wisconsin killed them. Michigan killed them. Penn State killed them. Minnesota killed them. It was just like, okay, something's got to give.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all I got.
And the Word Association segment is brought to you by a Big Ten fan himself, Rhett Lee, attorney at law. Rhett Lee and the law office of Andrew Akey, LLC, are located at 206 4th Street in Logansport, Indiana. Rhett provides legal services to the people of North Central Indiana and practices criminal defense, family law, and personal injury. If you need a lawyer who cares about your results and will fight for you, give Rhett a call today to schedule a free consultation at 574-722-2221.
3 winners, 3 losers from the NFL.
Let me put my title. Get a good look at it from your chair because you're not getting this thing back for quite a while, maybe the whole year.
We'll see. Tanner beat me by 5. Last week was the closest we've ever gotten. I think I beat him by 4. Tanner this week beat me by 5. We've been real close.
If the Ravens would have beat the Raiders last week, I win the belt.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
Great game. One of the games, probably the game of the year so far.
Dang
Raiders. Last night was pretty good too.
But winners, Ravens. How could they not be a winner?
Absolutely.
You got them in your winners?
No. I tried to be different.
Ravens beat the Chiefs last night on Sunday Night Football. A gutsy play calling by Harbaugh at the end, leaving it up to Lamar if you wanted to go for it or not. And Lamar went and got it. It's hard to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs. You got to score in the 30s to do it, and it was nice to see them get it done.
4th and 1 in their own territory with 1:07 left. Chiefs are out of timeouts. You get a first down, the game's over. You kick it away, you probably lose. And the fact that John Harbaugh asked his quarterback if he wants to go for it, and Lamar said, heck yes. I love that kind of stuff, that Harbaugh was trusting enough, and he wanted to go and win the game rather than just play not to lose, which is punting away. Say, well, we tried our best. We just couldn't get enough.
Right.
Couldn't get a stop there. Well, you go and win the game. I mean, that's what it all comes down to, go and win the game, and that shows.
Well, it's huge for Baltimore. There's a big difference between starting 1-1 and 0-2.
Yep. And as I said last week, it's going to be different this year. I think we're going to see more 0-2 teams make the playoffs because there's that extra game and an extra playoff spot.
Good point.
The Rams are one of my winners. Going into Indianapolis. I mean, Cooper Kupp was unbelievable yesterday for my fantasy team.
Congratulations.
Matt Stafford, as we've said, I think
like him in L.A., man.
He's just a much better fit out there than Jared Goff was, and they're really,
better
really
fit
good team.
for him. Poor guy played for the Lions.
Absolutely. Colts 0-2 though, and their quarterback's out a while.
2 sprained ankles, and the next 3 games isn't 3 road games in a row.
Yeah, it's
not
gonna be
easy
tough against 3 teams that won at least 10 games last year.
But Hard Knocks has them.
Yep,
has them on.
Fighting for a playoff spot.
Which, speaking of the Colts, stay tuned to Query and Schultz. After this, they'll have plenty of Colts talk for you. So.
I think I have the same winners as your other 2 on there: Titans and Raiders. I think we both have Titans coming back and tying Seahawks at the end of regulation and winning in overtime.
One of the toughest places to play in the league.
That's a huge win for them because they could have been 0-2 as well.
Yeah, they were my Super Bowl pick to win it all. And then the Raiders, it pains me to say, but going into Pittsburgh, that's a good road win. They've beat 2 pretty solid teams to start the year.
On the road in Pittsburgh, too, is huge.
This is the first week since the last week of 2016 that the Kansas City Chiefs aren't tied for or had the sole possession lead of the AFC West.
That is so insane. That's just ridiculous.
They're running the division.
I'll tell you what, I'm sick of the Kansas City Chiefs. I know you were sick of them before they even got good.
Yeah. Now they're really good.
But I'm finding myself rooting against them about every week like I used to with New England or
and I think we're in for a while.
Anywhere Peyton Manning was. Even though I really like Peyton Manning, I didn't like any of the teams he was on.
Fair.
But yeah. I think Raiders are legit as well, unfortunately. But they were my other winner. One of your losers.
Zach Wilson.
He was really bad.
I know he's a rookie. A lot of these rookies are struggling, but 4 interceptions.
How good is Bill Belichick against rookie quarterbacks in his career? It's insane.
They asked him yesterday if he saw anything he wasn't expecting or saw goes. He's like, no. It's just a good defense I played against. And Mac Jones was pretty classy in his press conference saying, I know how good that defense is. I play against them in practice every day. He goes, I throw tons of picks against them. So
Mac Jones is by far the best rookie quarterback. It's hard to disagree with that one.
Yep. I think Trevor Lawrence will be good. He's going to take him some time. He's not used to lose. He's not used to not having much talent around him. Jacksonville's just kind of a mess.
I think Zach Wilson will be good as well, but again, he's with a trash organization that's trying to break that mold of awfulness that has surrounded them for years. One of my losers, Miami Dolphins. I didn't expect them to win against Buffalo, but to get shut out, give up 35 points.
I thought about putting them on there, but Tua getting hurt, I was like, Jacoby Brissett, I'm not going to do that.
Honestly, though, the game was over before Tua got hurt. It was already 14-0.
Yeah.
The offense was looking off. They've scored 17 points.
Is that when he tweeted him, told him good effort?
Yep. 17 points in 8 quarters this year. That's inexcusable. Offensive line, one of the worst I've ever seen.
They got too good of a defense. Defense got to keep them in pretty much.
Honestly, the defense kept them in pretty good. They just ran out of gas in the fourth quarter because they were on the field the whole time. They've given up 91 points in the last 2 games of the Bills. They're little brother right now, and they spent all these resources on the offensive line, and it's still one of the worst units.
And they don't have easy schedule either.
No. Their back end of the schedule is very easy, but I mean, you could be out of it by midseason.
Yeah, you could have a record and your players could quit on you too.
Yeah, that's the thing. So they have to find a way to bounce back, and I trust Flores and his coaching staff to get them there. One of my other losers, Minnesota Vikings, missing that pretty short field goal that could have won them a game.
Viking
now they're
kickers have a history of doing that stuff.
Sitting there at 0-2, they're not good. Although they hung in there pretty good.
If somehow the Packers lose tonight to the Lions, which I know we both don't think is going to happen, that NFC North is just a mess.
It's awful. I mean, Bears would be 1-1. I mean, Lions would be 1-1. But yeah, I think Packers win pretty easily.
One of my other losers, New Orleans Saints.
Yep, they're on my list.
They were surprised last week, had them on as a winner, and then maybe Carolina's better than I thought. I mean, Sam Darnold's looking pretty good 2 weeks in.
That was a terrible way to bounce back but to follow up your really good win against the Packers.
Yes, they looked awful. Jameis Back to Jameis, 2 picks, no touchdowns yesterday. So those are the Saints I thought they were going to be before the season started. In my other losers, the Indianapolis Colts. They're 0-2, lost a tough one yesterday. I mean, they kept getting inside the 10-yard line, couldn't punch it in, even inside the 5. And just with their 3 upcoming road games, I mean, at Tennessee, at Miami, at, I want to say, Baltimore.
Yep.
They could be 0-5 pretty quickly, and Carson Wentz is banged up, and not what Hard Knocks wants to see.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
Mid-season, I like it, but at the same time, I think they wish they would have picked a team that's halfway decent.
It's just an interesting pick.
It's interesting that they're doing it mid-season. I mean, a lot of teams don't want any sort of distraction in the middle of the season. Here we are. Colts getting a big one.
Are you going to watch the Manning brothers
Absolutely
broadcast tonight on ESPN2? I really enjoyed that.
They were
week.
fantastic last week.
A lot of fun.
I very enjoyed it. The Damn Landing is a sponsor of the Tana and J Man Show. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-bread, tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or a handcrafted cocktail, the Damn Landing is the place to be. The Damn Landing is a bar and grill located on beautiful Lake Manitou, focused on freshness and quality. You can wash down their delicious food with one of their 16 beers on tap, including a constant rotation of today's best microbrews and domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Taking the fantastic views of Lake Manitou on their beer garden or outdoor bar area, whether it be boat or wheels, the Damn Landing is the place to be, located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester.
And the Tan and J-Man Show is also brought to you by Circle 15 Golf. I'm switching up the read this week. We got a customer review.
Ooh.
It was an email. It says, "Hello, golfers, Chris Smith here. There's nothing better than having an unbiased third-party review one of our products. Today, I'm excited to let you know the popular golf reviews website, Niche Golf, recently tried out one of our gloves, and here's what they had to say. The tour quality Circle 15 glove is just fantastic. It feels buttery soft and fits like a glove. The glove is made using ultra-premium, highest-grade 100% sheepskin using a 4-way stretch material insert on the back to provide ultimate comfort, mobility, and breathability. Don't believe me? Try it out yourself at circle15golf.com, where they have the Genesis glove. They also have the glove hub, the patented glove hub, the first and only glove humidor on the market. They got hats, they got ball markers, they got divot repair tools, and a lot of cool stuff. They got good bundles for you. So go get yourself a Circle 15 glove and a glove hub.
Carolina at Houston Thursday night.
Yeah, Houston's
Tyrod Taylor's out.
Yeah, so who is their quarterback?
Davis Mills.
A rookie from Carolina. He's
from
Stanford.
Stanford.
Yeah, that was dumb. Sam Howell's North Carolina. Give me the Carolina Panthers for 14.
I have Carolina for 2. This was before I saw Tyrod Taylor was out.
We went the big opposite ends there.
I don't know if I'm a believer in Carolina yet, but they should beat Houston pretty good. Washington football team at the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills bounced back in a huge way yesterday.
Yeah, football team got won a squeaker over the Giants. So maybe they were just handed victory.
They were absolutely
on
handed.
Thursday nights. I believe you said that Giants wouldn't score against them. They only put up 19, but they put up 19.
No, they put up 29.
Was it 30-29? I thought it was 20-19. Oh,
nope.
My bad.
Nope.
Man, I'm off tonight too. Give me the Bills for 10.
I have the Bills for 16. Washington's not winning in Buffalo. I think Buffalo's back after their week 1
Sorry,
loss.
Josh.
That's okay. I was expecting it. Chicago at Cleveland. Andy Dalton, is he going to play? No one knows.
I don't think so.
Justin Fields was pretty bad backing him up. But, yeah, they traveled to Cleveland.
Cleveland got it done against Houston after week 1 collapse against Kansas City. Give me Baker and the boys in the dog pound for 12.
I have Cleveland for 10. Just too much offense for Chicago Bears.
Yep.
Baltimore coming off their huge win traveling to the Motor City.
Yeah, these are always tough to predict when you don't know how the team's going to play on Monday night. But I'm presuming it's going to be pretty ugly for the Lions at Green Bay. Don't think it gets any better at home against Baltimore next week. Give me the Ravens for 13.
I have Baltimore for 11. So, Indianapolis travels to Tennessee, quarterbackless.
Yeah, we've talked about this for a while. Big win by Tennessee after not looking good week 1 against the Cardinals. I like Tennessee a lot. Derrick Henry was an absolute beast. I know because I'm going against him in fantasy, and he put up 44 points. Give me the Titans for 11.
I have the Titans for 8. Jacob Eason's probably not going to win in Tennessee, I imagine. Have they said how long Wentz is out? It's got to be a while. Two sprained ankles?
If it's a high ankle, I don't know if they're high ankle sprains, but if so, that can be a long time.
The Los Angeles Chargers of Inglewood travel to Kansas City.
Yeah, I don't like this matchup at all. Two teams I don't like, but I'm rooting for the Chargers. But I think Kansas City bounces back. It's a tough place to play at Arrowhead. I think Chargers fall into a 1-2 hole. Give me the Chiefs, but only for 5.
I agree. Kansas City, and I have them for 9. I just think they're going to be too much for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. New Orleans travels to New England.
New England's defense was awesome against Zach Wilson. I think they give Jameis problems.
Winston is due for at least 3 turnovers.
Yep. Give me the Pats for 6.
I have Patriots for 7. I just don't see New Orleans going in there and winning. Atlanta travels to New York to face the abysmal New York Giants.
I don't think either of these teams are very good.
No.
I think the Giants get it done at home, but only give me 1 point on this.
Completely agree. Giants for 1.
Yeah.
It's so tough to pick because they're both pretty bad.
Yeah.
Cincinnati travels to Pittsburgh.
Cincinnati Bengals. Struggled for a while against Chicago, then tried to come back, but it was a little too late for Joe Burrow and company. Pittsburgh's going to be ticked off after losing that home game to the Raiders. Give me the Steelers for 9.
I fear for Joe Burrow's life.
Yeah.
That offensive line is still terrible and facing the best pass rush in the NFL. TJ Watt and the boys.
TJ got hurt, though.
Did he?
Hurt his groin.
Oh.
I don't know how severe.
Still, give me Pittsburgh for 15.
It's funny how that happens right after you get paid, huh?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm sure he is hurt. He's a guy who wasn't faking injury. But.
Arizona traveling to the abysmal Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Urban has a few games left before he jumps.
I think he's going to stay put at least for another year. But give me Arizona for 16.
I have Arizona for 14. They're going to score a lot of points and give up very few.
They're fun to watch.
The New York Football Jets travels to Denver to face the Broncos.
Feeling pretty good about this. I love the Broncos' first 3-game schedule. It's about as easiest
I've ever seen.
And they need it.
Absolutely. Got to start out 3-0.
They didn't play very well yesterday, but they played the Jaguars, so they got it done. Defense is solid enough. Even losing guys, they can handle it. Teddy Bridgewater's playing really good football. He's not turning it over. Give me Denver for 15.
That's all you really need out of him with that defense. That's why I was saying he's probably a better fit than Drew Lock.
You're smarter than me when it comes to that.
Nope. Cut it right there. I have Denver for 13. I think they get it done pretty handily.
15.
Miami Dolphins travel to Vegas to play the Raiders.
I hate this. I don't like picking the Raiders. It ruins my day, but Raiders for 8.
I'm picking the Dolphins.
I think you're right.
I think they bounce back. If Tua plays, I think the Dolphins have a real good shot to win. Now, if Brissett plays, I'll be flipping my pick. But
I think it's flipping my lid.
I don't know why I picked the Dolphins. It's definitely a homer pick, but I think they bounce back.
I hope you're
right. They need to. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this was the game of the week, traveling to the Los Angeles Rams.
Of course, it's not the Sunday night game, though. We got to give Green Bay another primetime game.
Have to.
Give me the Rams for 2.
This will be the J-Man's Book It prediction of the week. Give me Tom Brady going into Los Angeles. I think this could be like a 42-39 sort of finish. I think it would be a fantastic game. Give me Tampa Bay for 4. The J-Man's Book Prediction of the Week brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance Agent Travis Watching. For life, home, auto, renters, business, workers' comp, and farm insurance, contact him at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watching@infb.com. If you're living in Ohio, buy insurance from him.
Or Indiana, of course.
Yeah,
Tom Brady, it's hard to believe he's 44. It looks like he played till he's 50.
Seattle Seahawks traveling to Minnesota, coming off a heartbreaker.
Minnesota's not
both teams coming off a heartbreaker.
Not good, but they're desperate. They're kind of becoming desperate where they're going to fight with everything they got. Give me Seattle for 7.
I have Seattle for 6. Green Bay traveling to San Fran.
I'm high on the San Fran team. Give me San Fran for 3.
Of course, we haven't seen Green Bay tonight, which is tough because I fully expect them to bounce back, and I fully expect them to win in San Francisco. So give me Green Bay for 5. This is mainly just a pick based on years past than it is this year. Philadelphia traveling to Dallas.
Hate this matchup.
I think Dallas is pretty dang good.
I think they are too. Give me Dallas for 4.
I have Dallas for 12. I think they went pretty.
You put some big points on Dallas this year a couple times.
I mean, I had 11 against the Chargers, and they somehow found a way to get it done. But yeah, give me Birdie Bogey one more time.
It's Ryder Cup week.
Not get right.
Americans against the Europeans. The Americans need to get the cup back. It's at Whistling Straits. It's got to be a good time to watch. It's always one of them. Even if you don't like golf, it's fun with the atmosphere. I want to know, the Ryder Cup's been around since the 30s. I want to know what single individual has the most points ever in his career for the Ryder Cup.
I'm going to go with a guy that is a like Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus. I don't even know if this guy might be South African, and I could not even have the right country. But give me Greg Norman.
Yeah, he's Australian.
Crap!
So he didn't play in the Ryder Cup.
Yep.
One more guess.
Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. No, not Tiger Woods. It's actually a European, and you've heard of him. Sergio Garcia.
Serge.
25.5 points.
I want to say I actually knew that now that you say that. But
I was going to give you who's made the most Ryder Cup appearances ever.
I have no idea.
Phil Mickelson with 12. But he's not on the team this year. He's assistant captain.
Huh?
So Sergio Garcia.
You got me back. You got me back
I gave you a chance. I was like, if he throws out a decent name, you might have a chance. But
I'd heard of Greg Norman, but I didn't know he was Australian. Thanks for watching the Tan and J-Man Show. Tune in to Corey and Schultz next. Have a great week, everybody. We'll be back at it next Monday with another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show. I'm getting that back. Have a great week, everybody.